Yo, welcome back guys to another video. I'm just gonna do this in one take because I want to make sure I keep this as real and as genuine as possible. I'm just gonna tell you my story about how I escaped my hometown back in 2023 all the way to now where I'm living full-time in Manila, Philippines. And this is quite a full circle moment because I'm Filipino myself. I was born here and raised here until the age of 7. And then let me just pop this in real quick. But long story short, I was born and raised here until the age of 7 before my mom decided to take me with her to the UK. And I know a lot of you guys who are probably watching this, you're either between 18 to 24, or a young guy, you have all this ambition and you have a good mindset, or at least you're working towards it. But you just don't know where to funnel that good mindset in. You don't know where to funnel that good ambition in. Let's say you have your hometown friends, but you know you want to break into some bigger networks. You want to network with more successful guys. You want to live a good ass lifestyle at your young age. You know, you see all these content creators, these influencers that are posting on TikTok and YouTube. They're posting this lifestyle, and you're wondering how the fuck did they even get there in the first place. So I want to just share my story today and give a little bit of insight as to how I did it, so you guys get some clarity. You guys at least get some motivation. You know, this is something you can play in the background while you're cooking food, for example. I don't know. But yeah, let's take it all the way back to the beginning. So like I said, born here in the Philippines, I was raised as well by my lolo and my lola, which means grandfather and grandmother in Tagalog. And in terms of my mom and my dad, they were around in my life. However, like I said, they went to the UK when I was at the age of 5. And at the time, they couldn't afford to bring me with them at the time. And then they got jobs, they got a bit more security. And then when I was 7, after I just finished elementary school, they decided to take me with them. So I went from Philippines, moved to the UK with them. The first meal I had, and I'll never forget this because the first meal that I had in the UK was a slice of white bread, white toast, and a piece of butter. And it might sound funny to you, but in the Philippines, we don't really have that. And then unfortunately, after just 1 year of me moving, my dad actually passed away. My biological dad actually passed away when I was 8 years old. So that was quite a tough time in my life, simply because, you know, I lost a father figure at a young age. And now I'm being raised by a single mother. That's why I'll always have endless respect for my mother, and I love her to death. So she raised me as a single mom for the next couple of years. It wasn't easy, let me tell you that. It wasn't easy. We had to move towns a lot. We even had to ask some family friends if we can move in with them, and luckily they said yes. So we lived in with some family friends for the next couple of years, and apart from that, honestly, there wasn't really else much going on. I really just went through the motions from 8 years old to like 12, 13, 14, 15 onwards. And then during that time, my mom remarried. I also met my little stepbrother, and we had more of a family unit again. So 14, 15-year-old me, what was I going through? So, you know, I was going to secondary school now. I finished primary school. I just, again, went through the motions. And then around year 9 and year 10, I basically got backstabbed by that good friend of mine, and he started acting funny. And I guess you could say that was the start of my self-improvement arc, my revenge arc. And I simply did it for a very, very shallow reason at the time. The reason I wanted to self-improve, I started seeing videos online, getting into the gym, getting into better shape, improving your social skills, and then making money, which is what we're going to get into later. But long story short, I got backstabbed by a really good friend of mine, and that really was what started my self-improvement arc. So I started going to the gym more. I started learning how to do all those lifts, how to bulk, how to gain muscle. And at that time, I was still going through puberty, so it wasn't the easiest thing. But I'll never forget that time period, because for the first time in my life was when I decided to take matters upon my own hands and to start bettering my situation. And bearing in mind, guys, I was only 14, 15, and I was already starting to hit the gym. And then in terms of the gym, I started seeing good gains. And the next step after that in my head was, okay, how do I make some money? So I went through the canon event of figuring out how to make money from home, how to make money as a high school student. I started doing all the Google research, how to make money online, and I looked at surveys. I looked at making money from just filling out surveys online for people. And that's a canon event. Let me know if you guys relate to that or not. But that was like the first thing that I saw about making money online. I didn't decide I wanted to do that. I started dabbling to everything. So Way before I got into appointment setting, I tried all those different fucking businesses, guys. I've been through the ringer. I've tried reselling sweets in school, which only lasted for like 1 or 2 days. And then I got ashamed of what I was doing, so I stopped. But apart from that, I was reselling clothes on Depop. I was doing logo design on Fiverr for like $5 to $10 a pop. I was also learning how to grow Instagram theme pages. I tried everything, guys, under the sun. And the thing that stuck, and the first thing that really stuck with me, was the Instagram theme page growth. So when I was going to secondary school, I was about 15 now, and I was just like a normal high school student. I was bang average, I got average grades, but I had this Instagram page that I started. I started it from zero, and I was reposting luxury content online, like nice watches, nice cars. And long story short, within about 8 to 9 months, I grew that page from 0 to 30K followers as a high school student, as a secondary school student, while I was trying to balance my grades. I signed up for my first mentor too. I invested in my first coaching program on New Year's Eve. And I didn't tell my parents too. Like, I used my parents' allowance, I bunched it all up in my savings account, and then I saw this guy. I needed help with growing my Instagram page, and this guy was selling an Instagram growth course. And that was the first course that I ever invested into. And I didn't tell my parents about it because obviously they're gonna be pissed off, right? And long story short, after 8 days, my mom figured it out. She found out, and she got extremely mad. Like, she was crying, guys. Like, she was crying. And obviously that broke my heart. However, I saw the long-term vision. So I ended up just thugging out with that Instagram growth course, and I ended up monetizing it, and I was being an affiliate to start selling that course on his behalf. And I'd get commission for every sale that I got. And why this is important, why I should even give a fuck in the first place, was because this was the moment that I made my first money online at the age of 15. I remember it was 8 a.m. I was cycling to school with 1 or 2 of my other friends at the time. And I remember I got my first commission. It was only like $150, but man, the first money that you make online is the best. It's the first payoff that you're never gonna forget. So I made $150 on the way to cycling to school, and that blew my mind. And I knew I wanted to continue with this at least. And my friends were screaming, I was screaming, I was super happy. I told people at my school about it, and then word started to get around that I was running online business, so to speak. And yeah, I got mixed reactions, but I don't really give a fuck. But fast forward, I was running that Instagram theme page for a few more months, and then exams got in the way, so I had to put a pause on that. And then after the exams, I decided, like, I didn't have anything to do apart from gym. So I was like, I want to get back into online business. I want to get back into this space. What do I do? And then I saw Iman Gadzi's ad. So another canon event for you guys in the online money space, because Iman Gadzi's ad came up on my profile, and this is the first time I've heard about SMMA. So I decided, you know what? Let me just use my skills with Instagram and let me start an SMMA. So I was cold calling restaurants. I was asking them if they needed help with growing their Instagram page, getting more eyeballs. I even started trying to do Facebook ads. I tried bringing on my first team member, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, to be honest, boys. Like, I was just figuring it out. And it went on like that for the next 1 year, I'd say. Next 1 year of trying to figure it out. I ended up going back to square zero, and it didn't work. And that was very disappointing of me. I was very disappointed. Your boy, right now, it's 2021. He's getting into university. He's packed his bags. He said goodbye to his parents, and he's gone off to Portsmouth. And then at this point now, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to continue university for the next 4 to 5 years. I was just trying to figure it out day by day. But long story short, I got into uni. I attended my first year. I was pretty broke at the time as well. Didn't have enough money to even pay for rent. I had to ask my parents if they could pay for rent every month. So that was pretty a blow in the chest. I barely had any money to pay for food as well. So at this time as well, I lost a lot of weight, and I wanted to get back into the gym. So I started bulking again. That was pretty much the only thing saving me, guys, was the gym and trying to figure out this online business thing. I put a pause on digital marketing on SMMA. I wanted to get into online coaching. So this is my first online coaching business, guys, where I was gonna help other people grow and monetize on Instagram. And you can see on my YouTube as well, if you scroll down far enough, you'll see all the videos where I was in uni, documenting the journey, giving tips, and some of the videos actually blew up. So from 2021 to 2022, I was just going through the motions. I was trying to enjoy life in uni, but at the same time, when I wasn't going to lectures, I would be at home at my desk all day trying to grow this coaching business, learning the ins and outs of it. And it went on like that for the next year. And the whole thing kind of flopped as well. So that was another business that flopped. I didn't sign any clients. I was just posting content. Nothing was really working. And at this time as well, I also invested into another mentorship program. So the student loan that I got, I ended up putting the last bit of it into this mentorship program. And I kept trying to figure out how to grow this coaching business for the next year while I was in university. So coming up to the end of university, I still didn't make any money. I didn't still sign any clients. But what I was doing was I networked with people in the group. And I made a bunch of friends too. This is really refreshing too, guys, because if you guys are going to uni, you'll know that most of these people, their only concern is when is their next night out? When are they going to be able to attend the next party? They were doing drugs. They were doing all the stuff I didn't want to do. And I met a lot of friends in that program, and I ended up practicing with a skill. And that skill was appointment setting. So we'd hop on Zoom calls and we'd practice every day with our appointment setting skills, asking each other questions, helping each other out. And it went on like that until the end of my first year in university. So this time was a very funny period. I'm not gonna forget this because I was at a crossroads again. Your boy hasn't made any money. He's still broke. He didn't get that good grades as well in university. What is he gonna do now? Am I gonna continue onto my second year, or am I just gonna drop out? And I picked the latter decision, which was one of the toughest decisions I had to make in my life. Deep down, I knew it was going to disappoint my parents. However, this is what I truly wanted to do. So I made the tough decision to drop out of university. And my only choice there was to move back in with my parents. Around summer of 2022, I went all in on my entrepreneurial dreams. I dropped out of university, I moved back in with my parents, and they were very disappointed. Like, if you didn't think they could get more disappointed as me getting bad grades, imagine the disappointment and the stress that they were gonna give me moving back in with them. And the only questions that they kept asking me, and we got into a lot of arguments too from that point on, but the only questions they were asking me was when I was gonna get a job and if I applied to jobs and got any interviews. Those are the only two questions I kept hearing in my fucking head every single day since I moved back home. And it was one of the toughest points in my life. It was a pretty low point. Even me, I was starting to question if this was even the right decision and if I should just go back into university. So for the next, let's say 3 months was a lot of stress. It was a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. I was very, very overwhelmed. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I don't even know if this coaching business was sustainable. And on top of that, my parents every single day, they're hammering me with the same sort of questions. Like I said, when are you gonna get a job, Matt? Have you applied for that job in the high street? Have you done this, etc. Meanwhile, I kept saying no because this is not what I genuinely wanted to do. And honestly, guys, I'm gonna keep it 100%. The pressure got to me. I started applying for jobs. I slowly was coming to an end. I was going to give up on this coaching business. So I started applying for jobs. I attended a few interviews. There was this one sales job that I applied for called at EE, which was like a Verizon if you're from the States. And I ended up getting rejected too. So not only was I applying to jobs and giving up on my entrepreneurial dreams, I wasn't getting any jobs too. I was getting rejected left, right, and center. I don't know why. Maybe I was underqualified, but who fucking cares, guys? That was the low point in my life. I'm not gonna say depression, but it was pretty damn close to depression. Fast forward a bit, my coaching business was failing. I was stuck at home and I didn't know what to do. And then one evening, I'll never forget this as well, one of my friends from the coaching program I was in, he asked me if I could help him out with his own coaching business. And he asked me if I could be his appointment setter over the weekend. Because this guy, unlike me, he was getting success. He started getting hella views. Like one of his TikToks got 1 million views, and he sent all of that traffic onto his Instagram page where he can reach out, try close them, try get them on a sales call. But the reason he reached out to me was because he couldn't handle all of these leads. So he reached out to me, good friend of mine, Filipino as well. And he asked me if I could be his appointment setter over the weekend. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'm down, but I'll just do it over the weekend. After that, I'm just gonna continue figuring out my own coaching business. So he's like, bet. So we agreed, and he gave me my first appointment setting role. And long story short, boys, this was the start of something amazing. I was going through the trenches for the past 6 to 12 to 18 months as a kid who got average grades, who dropped out of university. And then when I got my first appointment setting job, I had made more money, I got more results, and I got way more fulfillment from doing this one appointment setting job than I did when I was doing my entire coaching business and my SMMA and my reselling of my clothes. It's insane, guys. And then I started making anywhere at home from $500 to even $1,000 plus per week while I'm at home. This is where I started to see the light at the end of the tunnel, guys. So I came at a crossroads again. I decided, do I continue my coaching business or do I just go full time and work for this guy? And I chose the latter. I decided to work for my guy. And I was an appointment setter now, full time, making money. It was me, it was him, the founder, and then it was one of our other friends, and he was the closer. So it was a team of 3, and he went from 0 to 20 to 30K per month in just 90 days of starting his coaching business. And this was one of the fucking most fun times of my life. Like, we were printing cash, I was at home, I was making money, and things started to click. He also asked me if I could help out with his coaching. So I'd hop on weekly calls with his clients and I'd give him game. I'd give him sauce on appointment setting and teach him how to do the skill themselves. But if I looked at the grand scheme of things, I was still a little bit lost because yeah, I was making money, but what am I gonna do? Because I wanted to move out for sure. And the whole vision originally, maybe stack up enough cash, make enough money, find a £2,000 per month, 1-bedroom flat in the UK, and then I'd move out from there whenever that was gonna happen. I wasn't sure. So I went out for a walk one day just to clear my head. And then I went on my phone, I went on Twitter, and I saw this guy's tweet. His name is Jack Hartley. And the tweet goes, here's what $1,500 per month will get you in Malaysia. And the pictures there, it was this nice ass villa, 2 to 3 bedroom. There was rice fields as a view out in the front. Food was like $2 to $5 every single day. And it broke down all the expenses on how much you'd need to live comfortably in Malaysia. So now my sights were set on moving to Thailand. Your boy was locked in for the next 8 months. I was in my winter arc. I just kept trying to stack cash for my appointment setting role. And for the next, let's say, 4 to 8 months was when I started stacking cash and then putting some of it into my savings. I started looking at places to move in Thailand. I invested into more mentorships, more networks, anything that would pretty much help me make this move happen faster. And the most important thing I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you're gonna make a decision like that, like moving out of your parents' house, most important thing I can tell you guys is to set a deadline, because you can dream all you want about moving out and having this freedom, but if you don't set a deadline, it's just going to remain a dream. It's just going to remain a goal. But as soon as you set a deadline, that put a lot of pressure on me, but the good kind of pressure, a lot of motivation as well. So I set a deadline, end of March 2023, get the fuck out of England. We can call it mission, get the fuck out of England. And at this time as well, I didn't tell my parents about this either. I wanted to keep it on the low, because here's the thing as well, if you're trying to make this move, you have to just keep it on the low, because you don't want to start telling everyone, your parents, they could start throwing limiting beliefs at you, start questioning your decision. Why are you moving to Thailand? Are you sure you have enough money? Like, you don't even have a job yet. Like, all these thoughts are going to get into your head. So it's best you keep it on the low and you just grind and lock in for the next couple months, and then only let the results speak for itself. So from October 22, when I started appointment setting, to March 2023, my income was going up, my expenses stayed low because I was staying at home. And then I started investing into mentorships and networks. And long story short, I booked a one-way ticket to Koh Samui. I found a villa through one of my connections, through one of my mentors, and I found 2 other guys to move in with. It was a nice-ass place too. It had a pool, had a nice-ass view. It was on the top of the hills, and you got the best view pretty much. And I ended up moving out. It was a reality, finally. So I moved to Thailand. I was living in a sick-ass villa, was sipping coconuts every day, went to the beach, did Muay Thai as well, so I got back into Muay Thai. And I lived with 2 other guys. One of them was in remote sales and the other one was in trading. So I was being surrounded by killers too. And life from that point, I'll never forget, was a complete 180 from the life I was living in the UK for the past 1 to 2 to 3 years. It was insane. I continued making money with appointment setting. I kept making commissions, but only now, guys, I started making memories. I was having the experiences that I always wanted to have on my vision board. But the thing is, guys, I was only there for 3 months, and then after that, I had to make another decision as to where I wanted to go next. And despite all the shit talking I was doing about my parents, and again, this is not to say I don't like them and I don't respect them. I love them to death, and our relationship has been the best it's ever been in a long ass time. But the one thing that my mom said that stuck with me was when I told her about my plan to move to Thailand, she told me, why don't you just go to Philippines afterwards? Because it's only a 3-hour flight away. I'm from the Philippines, I have family there. And because I'm Filipino, that made things a lot easier too. So I was like, that's a really, really good idea, Mom. Let me actually do that after Thailand. So did 3 months in Thailand and then moved to the Philippines. I stayed with my lolo and my lola for about 1 month. And then my family member, my aunt, she had a condo in Manila in Quezon City and she decided to lend it to me. So I was staying in her condo just by myself, not paying any rent. And it was a cheat code, guys. I stayed in QC for like about a year. And then during that time as well, I tried my hand at other appointment setting offers. I started setting for a real estate coaching business. I also set for one of the biggest e-commerce guys at the time, and life was good. The most important part was I was able to wake up and just make money and decide how I wanted to spend my day every single day. No boss, no lectures to go to, no parents to tell me what to do and what I can't do. So life was good. I know I keep saying this a lot, but I got into another crossroads because I was about like 2.5 years into appointment setting. I also did some closing here and there. And I decided, why don't I just start my own thing, my own offer. So I transitioned from appointment setting to coaching again. This is my second rodeo at it. Only this time I was gonna help other people get into appointment setting, avoid the mistakes that I was making, and start succeeding in this space. And this was the birth of The Oracle, which is my coaching business. So the whole reason I started The Oracle was because I wanted to be that big brother that I wish I had when coming into the appointment setting space. Because there was a lot of damn mistakes I was making. I didn't know what I was doing half the time. Yes, I got good at it, but there were a lot of mistakes I was making. So I started The Oracle because I wanted to be the big brother for other people in the space. And I know some of you guys are thinking, oh, you're being a guru, you're being another course seller, you're just scamming other people. Here's the thing, boys. I put off selling my own product, my own program for the longest time. Like, I sucked to appointment setting because I thought I wasn't ready yet. I wanted to make sure I was actually good at what I did before I started my own coaching business. There were people in my comments, there were people in my Instagram DMs. They were asking me to coach them. I kept saying no because I wanted to make sure I was damn good at what I was doing first before I offered my own service. And in 2024, I started the coaching business. I decided to bring on one client. I got him results. He started making 2.5K in commissions with appointment setting. I was like, let's fucking go. Like, let's keep this going. I signed another client, got him results. I signed another client, got him results, got student interviews and testimonials. And safe to say, I knew what I was doing and I documented the entire journey on YouTube. And then fast forward, it's 2025. I probably coached like 50 plus people at this point with appointment setting. We've also hit 3K plus subscribers on YouTube. And life was good. The people were getting results. I started building more and more connections. And there's these patterns that kept coming up over and over again as to why people were succeeding. And it came down to these 3 core pillars. Network number 1 was by far the most important thing. Like, network really is your net worth. If you know the right people, you can go into the space less qualified and still get a better position than most people. You can make more money because you simply know the right people. Number 2 was tenacity. Because let's face it, I've been through the ringer. I've tried all these business models. Most of them didn't even work out. But there's a lot of people that have made those businesses work. It's just about sticking to one of them and not giving up along the way. So number 2 was tenacity. I didn't give up on appointment setting. I focused on one skill. The guys that succeeded in the program and the people that I helped out, they stuck with appointment setting only. And then the last thing is guidance. Because like I said, when I was trying to move to Thailand, when I was trying to do my old coaching business, even though I was broke at the time and I didn't have much money, I still made the effort to invest into a community or invest into a network or invest into a mentor who's going to tell me what to do and what not to do, and I can ask them any questions. I'm getting help from someone who was once in my shoes before. So that was super valuable, and those are the 3 things that kept me on the straight path. Just so you know, I'm not capping. I'm going to give you some names of people that we've helped. For example, Qua, he's from Vietnam. He hit 4K per month in commissions with appointment setting. And he's out in Bali living a good life. And then we have Dime. He was my first or second student in the program. He ended up making 2.5K per month with appointment setting, and then he went on to start his own agency. I have another guy I'm coaching called Ronaldo. He's about to hit 2K per month. He's also not just an appointment setter, he also became an appointment setting manager, where he has a bunch of setters under him and he's managing them. And he's hitting like a good amount of money, and soon he's gonna come to the Philippines, God willing. Another guy I helped out was, his name's Ray, and he's also Filipino. He basically hit 2K in commissions in 30 days of starting. This guy didn't play around. He messaged me on Instagram. He's like, I'm ready to go. I don't have any objections, and I just want to get started with appointment setting. And in 30 days, we got him to 2K per month in commissions. We got him on a sick ass offer. I have another guy called Joe. He made 2.5K in commission just in 26 days when I got him on a new offer. I have another guy called Simon, who's based in Cebu, Philippines, from the province. So if you guys from Philippines, if you're watching this and you don't think you can make it happen, yes, you fucking can make it happen. We have Simon here. He was hitting 2 to 3K per month in commission on a fitness offer, and he was absolutely killing it. You're probably asking yourself, like, how long did it take for them to get results? It was all within 90 days or less. Some of these guys, they got results within their first 30 days, some of them a little bit over, but it didn't take them 1 to 2 years like it did for me. So if you made it this far in the video, I absolutely commend you. And I'm gonna pitch something to you guys now. If you guys don't wanna hear it, you can click off, that's completely fine. But for the guys that are serious, I want you to listen up. You can go through my YouTube content, you can take notes, you can try it by yourself. But if you decide like, this is something that's not working, I need help, I need a mentor, I need guidance, then what I want you to do is to click the link in the description, the first link where you can book a call with me on my calendar, and we'll have a strategy session. So this is not gonna be a sales pitch, it's not gonna be a free coaching session either, but really it's just a call for me to decide if even appointment setting is the right thing for you, and if I can even help you out in the first place. Like, if I can't help you out, boys, I'm gonna reject you, and I'm just gonna tell you straight up. On the strategy session, I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions about where you're at the moment, where you're trying to get to, really what you're struggling with appointment setting, why you can't seem to do it by yourself. And then if everything works out, boys, we'll go over a quick roadmap. We'll show you how we're gonna help you get to 2 to 5K per month, 3 to 5K per month with appointment setting, how we're gonna help you get a position, how we're gonna start training you up, and then we can go from there. But let's say you hop on the call and I decide it's not gonna be a good fit, or you decide this is not the thing for you, that's absolutely no worries. I'll give you some action steps, I'll give you some tips, and I'll point you to the right direction as to what you need to do next, so you're leaving the call better than you came. And then any questions as well that you have at the end, like, you can deadass just ask me any questions and I'll give you a lot of clarity on that. So before you click the link in the description, I want to make something very clear about who this call is for and who this call is not for. So this is going to be for you if you decide appointment setting is something you want to pursue and you're 100% serious. Number 2 is if you're willing, able, and committed to make a change now in your situation. I'm not even talking about appointment setting and getting a mentor. I'm talking about your whole life. And if you need help with the following things, such as trying to get a good appointment setting position, getting trained by me, getting better at the skill, making connections, having me hold you accountable, if you need help with any of those things, guys, then the call is going to be for you, and I'd book it in as soon as possible. And also, if you feel like you need guidance from me and you can't just do it by yourself anymore. But the call is not going to be for you if you're not committed to making a change, if you're not sure about appointment setting yet, if you have too many distractions. Let's say you want to get into e-commerce, you want to get into trading, affiliate marketing. If you want to do those things, that's completely fine, but I just can't help you guys. And if also you feel like you can do appointment setting by yourself, you don't need my help, that's also fine. The YouTube content is there, but the call is not going to be for you guys. So I've helped 50 plus people with the same exact thing, so it's safe to say I know what I'm talking about. This is one-on-one as well, so I'm very selective about who I let in. I pretty much only take on 3 to 5 people every single month, because this is not group coaching. This is going to be one-on-one directly from me. So if this all resonates with you and you fit the criteria and you want to get started, then book a call in the fucking description. If you have any more questions, and you can find my Instagram down below as well. But I'm gonna leave you guys with one last thing before I just end this video. You're generally not that far away from living your dream life. All it takes is 6 to 12 months of locking in. I know it's stuff you've probably seen on Instagram, but it really is true, guys, because you saw it with me. I locked in. I decided to pick one thing and one skill only, and that's what helped me escape my hometown as a uni dropout living in the UK with my parents to now living my dream life with appointment setting. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel, booking a call down below, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.